start with talking about William E. Boeing today. And as you can see, there are a series of pictures collected of his. The one over here, the tiny little fellow in the center, is William E. Boeing when he was small. And then as he grew up, and the last picture that was available of his. Okay. So we move ahead now. William E. Boeing, he started his professional life as a lumberman. Lumberman means he worked with wood. He used to buy and sell wood and ended as a real estate developer and a horse breeder. But in between, he founded the company that brought forth important breakthroughs in the field of aviation technology and the airline business. So he wasn't somebody who thought he will start airline business. He actually started off like doing the business which his father did of buying and selling wood. And then over a period of time, he grew to love aeroplanes. I will be telling you the story about that. And then after his company retired from his company, he ended up in real estate, that is buying and selling of land and houses, and he used to breed horses. The Boeing Airplane Company became one of the signature corporations of Seattle and Pacific Northwest and dominated the regional economy for most of the 20th century. So he founded a very, very big company. William E. Boeing was born on October 1st, 1881 in Detroit, Michigan, the first child of Wilhelm Boeing and Marie Ottman. You can see the pictures of the mother and the father. Boeing's father, Wilhelm Boeing, a soldier, emigrated to the United States in 1868 from North Rhine-Westphalia, that is in Germany. He came to US with no money. After working on a farm, in a lumber yard, and in a hardware store, he was hired by Karl Ottman, an important local lumberman from Vienna. He married Ottman's daughter and 5 years later started his own business. He was soon selling land, timber, iron ore at huge profits and providing extraordinarily well for his wife Marie and the two children, William and Caroline. So the father had grown rich over a period of time. But unfortunately, when William was very young, his father died early, and when William was 8 years old, Marie Boeing married again. Young William was sent away to several prestigious boarding schools. William joined an engineering course after school, but just 3 years into the course, he decided to leave college and take up business of buying and selling timber. Within a short time, Boeing started the Greenwood Timber Company and the Boeing and McCrimmon Company. Aeroplanes always fascinated him, and he took his first flight in 1915. And you know how he flew in that aeroplane? He had to sit on the wing. It was a small seaplane. I'll show you the picture in the next slide. And he was sitting on the wing, holding on to the edge, and the aeroplane was just skipping over water and just a little into the sky. You can see the plane over here, this brown colored plane. It was something like this. These were called seaplanes. They mostly went on water and not very high. They used to just take small flights. So Boeing traveled first time on the wings. Boeing decided to take lessons at the Glenn L. Martin Flying School in Los Angeles, and he purchased one of Martin's planes. William Boeing became a pilot. William Boeing and Conrad Westervelt, that was his friend and later became the partner, they believed they could build a better airplane than the Martin float plane. Their company was called B&W. It's not BMW, remember, that makes cars. This is B&W, that is Boeing and Westervelt. Their employees assembled Boeing Airplane Model 1 and called it the Blue Bill. This is the Blue Bill. You can see this picture beside. This is the Blue Bill. After B&W's first flight, William Boeing incorporated his airplane building business as a Pacific Aero Products Company. William Boeing transferred ownership of 4 of his aircrafts, 2 B&Ws, a C-4, and the Martin TA, as well as his associated property, to his company. On April 18, 1917, he changed the name to Boeing Airplane Company. His friend Westervelt was a part of the Navy, and he was called off by the Defense Forces for a war. So at that time, Boeing decided to change the name from B&W to only Boeing Airplane Company. Boeing kept his company alive after World War One by building furniture and speedboats. After World War One, there was a dearth of, many of these airplanes which belonged to the army, they were all brought into the market and the aeroplane business was suffering. So William Boeing was not having enough money to run his company. So he did not bother to think that he had set up such a big company. How can he come down? He came down once again to building furniture and speedboats, which was what he was doing earlier. And he was able to manage to keep his company afloat by earning some money. After the World War One, America had lost so many pilots that they could not run the airmail business. Boeing decided to get into airmail business in addition to building planes. So he saw the first opportunity of doing the airmail business, that is carrying post by air. By 1928, Boeing Air Transport held 30% of the air mail and air passenger market in the United States. In recognition of Boeing's achievements and his company's prowess meaning the expertise, Seattle's first municipal airport, constructed in 1928, was named Boeing Field in 1930. At the dedication of the airport's terminal building, Boeing declared the day was just about the happiest one of my life. These are in his own words. William Boeing retired in 1934. Just before his retirement, Boeing received the coveted Daniel Guggenheim Medal for his vision and willingness to spend his money that has resulted in the formation of one of the best manufacturing and transport organizations in the world. Accepting the award, he said, as the past years devoted to aircraft activities have been filled with real romance. He was in love with planes. The many forward projects not in the making will continue to keep me on the sidelines as a keen and interested observer, which means that even though he left the business, he decided to remain a part of it by seeing how the development of the business took place. With that, we end with William Boeing's episode with Boeing. But I have a brief video for you on the history of Boeing planes. I hope my video plays properly. So let's start. Look at how planes looked in those days in 1903. that was about Boeing's aeroplanes. And now for a few interesting facts about Boeing planes. You might have noticed that all the Boeing planes begin with the series of 7. And there are more interesting facts about Boeing. Let us know. Children, so that brings us to the end of today's assembly.